my level 1 students in the very beginning of the year. It's obviously a very condensed lesson, but I believe this is I don't believe it is the foundation to sign language, and it really is the core. It starts in the beginning of the year going all the way to ASL 3. It's the foundation, it's the true meaning of why students learn sign language. So when looking at the mission statement and how I apply it to my classroom, the very first word that popped out to me was thoughtfulness. I think you can kind of see when you have a culture and thoughtfulness, they pair really well together, because when we're learning about someone else's culture, we have to be thoughtful, show respect, be caring, be open-minded, because although it's going to be different than ours, it's someone else's culture, and we have to be thoughtful and show respect to that. But I think that ASL is a little bit different than all the other world languages taught at high school level, at college level, because ASL is attached to a disability. And, sorry, it's the morning. I'm distracted really easily. Okay, so ASL is attached to a disability, and whether you agree with it or not, society in general looks down upon disabilities. It has a negative stigma towards disabilities. So you're not just learning about a history, about a culture, but you're really learning about an unknown culture that a lot of people don't even realize is attached to a culture or has history or has been oppressed for hundreds of years. So they really are learning about a culture that is attached to a disability. So what I mean by that, I'm gonna paint you a picture. Say you're walking down the street and you go over here and, oh look, there's two people speaking Spanish. Naturally, you're not gonna think anything of it. Maybe you're gonna be like, oh, I kinda know what they're saying, or I wonder what they're saying, but you're not gonna feel sorry for them just because they're speaking another language. You keep walking and, oh look, there's this wonderful Italian couple, and maybe you always wanted to learn Italian, but you're never gonna feel sorry for them. You're gonna be like, oh wow, I always wanted to learn Italian, but you're just gonna keep on walking. Then you go into a restaurant and you sit down, and the table across for you is a table of deaf individuals communicating through sign language. Naturally, not everyone, but as a society, naturally, you're gonna feel sorry for them. You're gonna have sympathy for them. You're going to say, oh wow, oh, I wonder what it'd be like if I couldn't hear. I feel so sorry for them. I wish I could help them. They can't do this, they can't do that. I mean, deaf people can't list goes on and on and on and on of what deaf people can't do just because they can't hear. It's called autism, where we think we're superior to deaf people solely because we can hear. So you're attached to a culture that you're going to have sympathy for and feel sorry for them just because they can't hear, when in reality they're just like you and me. They can do anything they want to do, they just can't hear. It's pretty simple. So I teach my students that I think there's a difference between being thoughtful and feeling sorry for someone, because we think like, oh, I'm caring for them, I'm being thoughtful of them, I'm feeling sorry for them, when in reality, deaf people are proud to be deaf. It is who they are, it is their identity. If you ask any deaf person if they could wake up in the morning and hear, probably about like 99.9% of them would say no. And these of course are the ones that are involved in the community. So it's just really bringing awareness to my students that we have to show respect to them, we have to be thoughtful for them, and we don't have to feel sorry for them because they're proud to be deaf, and that is what it is. So then when also going through this, another word popped out of me, and it's young leaders. I think when everyone thinks of leaders, you think of like the type A personality, really organized, gung-ho, can lead a whole class and group and whatnot. But I try to show my students that being a leader to the deaf community is simply spreading the word. It's having a conversation, because right then and there, you're bringing awareness to another person that has no idea about the deaf community. For example, my mom, when I really started getting into the deaf community, she came to me and she said, oh, I saw a deaf man at Jamba Juice. I felt really sorry for him. It looked like he was having struggled with the cashier on how to order something. He had to write it down. I just really wish I could help him. I was like, okay, Mom, come here. So we had to sit down, I had to have a conversation with him, pretty much what I just said, that deaf people are proud to be deaf, we don't have to feel sorry for them, they don't need our help, blah, blah, blah. Yes, they're gonna do stuff different than we do, but they can do everything we can do, they just have different accommodations. And it was kind of cool because, I don't remember the exact time frame, but my mom came back to me a while later, and she was with a group of friends, and they saw a deaf family having dinner and signing to each other. And she told me how she told the whole table that they're proud to be deaf. We don't have to feel sorry for them. And it just takes that one conversation to spread the whole entire world. So that's how I spread the whole entire world. Well, I guess maybe. But you never know, right? And then you never know if those people, they encountered another deaf person and then they spread the word. So I teach my students you can be leaders by simply having a conversation and being a voice for a voiceless community. It's really that simple. Since I'm the only sign language teacher here, I can talk with my foreign language buddies, but I really look to like the internet to grow my skills. Like I look at other teachers' websites and just see like if they made their own worksheets or anything like that. And I came across 2 years ago this saying on a deaf professor's website, and it's hanging in my room. We go over this every single year from level 1 to level 3, and we dissect it, and I really think it's a true meaning of sign language. So I'll read it to you. It says, "You, as an ASL student, do make the world a better place, especially for the deaf people. You have gained knowledge of ASL and deaf culture, which are valuable and essential for building bridges between hearing and deaf people. Understanding another culture adds depth to your tolerance, awareness, and sensitivity towards other people's needs and interests. For all those reasons above, you are becoming a better person." So I really like that one. I really like the building bridges. A simple, just being a voice for another community, you can just spread and build and connect the two worlds together, because you probably don't realize it, but you have your deaf world and your hearing world until you are kind of exposed to that culture. You don't think anything of it. And so for me, and I think we all have heard Sherry say millions of times that culture changes your life, and I truly believe that. And especially for ASL, I feel like it's different because I said it's attached to disability. So it opens a whole new world. You're not just learning about culture or history, you're learning about a disability and how we don't have to feel sorry for people that have disability. I have a poster in my room that says, "Deafness is not a disability, it's an identity." And that's how the deaf community feels about themselves. And for me as a teacher, it's really not about teaching the language or teaching the science. I mean, from a year from now, probably honestly over summer, my students are going to forget half the things they've learned. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, they may know how to sign like, "Hi, my name is," and they can fingerspell their name. But that's probably about it. Unless you're immersed into the culture, you're not going to continue growing your skills. I feel like that's for any subject or whatnot. So for me, if I can just expose to my students that that deaf people are proud to be deaf, and they can take that and like maybe 10 years from now, they share that with their children. And then just keeps going on and on and on. And that's what truly why I teach sign language, is to expose this culture to my students. I don't care, I really don't care if they remember how to sign "where's the bathroom" or "my favorite vegetable is a cucumber." I don't know. Okay, I really don't care if they remember that or not. What truly matters to me is that they can be a voice and an advocate for the deaf community by simply remembering that deaf people are proud to be deaf. We don't need to feel sorry for them. They don't need help. They can do it on their own. And if they can just spread that word, it just takes one simple conversation, and hopefully they will. I embed it in my students to ask them, "Are deaf people proud to be deaf?" They'll say yes. I embed it. I'm really repetitive. Bed that into them. So, but yeah, that's my real meaning of why I love teaching ASL so much, is to expose the language to them, and so they can see a whole nother culture, and it really changes your lives. I mean, so simple, but you can really connect the two worlds together. And that's that. Hopefully I showed you my mission statement in my class. I might have rambled a little bit. I tend to do that, sorry. Okay, we're good. So let's pray then.